I was just rushing to pick up my sister because my mom had a church thing and Missy didn't want to go to the church thing because she had a friend's thing and they were fighting, and as you can imagine, it was a whole thing.
Georgie, as we knew him on Young Sheldon, no matter what life threw his way, he always sort of held his head high. He was always very confident, always sort of looked on the bright side. In Georgie and Mandy, he's juggling a lot of different things. Have you been surprised at all seeing how Georgie is navigating all of these stresses?
I think Georgie's doing a hell of a job with the way he's handling it. I really do. I think the relationship that Georgie and Jim are building, of how, Jim is not necessarily stepping in as his father, but, just helping him out through this hard time. And there's a lot of sweet moments between them two, and it's really good to see that Georgie does have somebody on his side, and his mother-in-law is always trying to put him down and make him feel like that dumb brother, you know? But then he has Jim.
Look, I know the kid lost his temper, but that is not his nature.
Whose side are you on?
He's got a lot on his plate, and I feel for him.
We have seen on social media that Lance Barber, who played George Sr., he's been around a lot. He's been on set. He's been sort of cheerleading you guys through this new experience. It's funny to me watching these first couple of episodes because I know that he's present, he's there, he's cheering you guys on. And at the same time, you're mourning the loss of his character. And I'm curious what that feels like to play. Does it feel like you guys are, in a way, almost paying tribute to the great performance that Lance gave in Young Sheldon?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, but he knew that was the storyline. He knew that it was going to come to an end eventually. None of us knew when it was going to be, but I've talked to him about it, and he's very thankful, like the rest of us, to have the opportunity to play this character for so many years. And I'm sure there'll be some type of throwback or something, or he might come in the scene as a ghost or something. You never know.
Yeah, I think audiences would be
very
excited
love that.
to see it.
Yeah.
They'd love it.
I'll tell you, when we were filming the last episode of Young Sheldon, when we were walking up to the casket and everything, well, he was actually in there, and just, oh my gosh, it felt so real. It felt so real. He was laying there in the casket, and we'd walk up and we'd say our lines, and you were just sitting there and you could see the real tears coming down his face. I mean, it was rough.
Fans were very excited to hear that pretty much all the Coopers are back for your Thanksgiving episode. What is it like once we get all the Coopers and all the McAllisters under one roof?
It's all, I'll tell you one thing, the dinner scenes on Young Sheldon took about 25 hours, each dinner scene. On multicam, about 30 minutes, baby. It's way better, way better. But no, it's always a good time when we have everybody around.
The fact that this is the first Thanksgiving without George Sr., is that sort of hanging over Georgie through this whole thing?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just like in real life, if you lost your father, it's a hard time there. I think Georgie is he's just having to step up to be the man of the household because, Mary has got a lot of possibly regrets and a lot of things that she probably wished George would have done differently. This is just something that really came out of nowhere. They didn't really expect it to happen, and they're just, they just have to figure everything out one step at a time. And I think maybe, I don't know, I feel like maybe Georgie might be the only one that might be taking it a step at a time, and actually stepping back and thinking about what really needs to be done in order to fill this role, fill these shoes,
She only got the job because she's young and perky.
You're perky.
I'm young too!
The title of this show is Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. With all of this going on, how are Georgie and Mandy holding up right now?
There's no way this marriage lasts. And I say the sooner it ends, the better.
Oh, you don't know that.
Well, yeah, that calls for an inevitable breakup in the future, and we don't know if it's with Mandy the second time or third time, but hopefully this first marriage will go 20 seasons, the second marriage will go 30 seasons, and then so on and so forth.